T11.9. Are TV commercials louder than their surrounding programs? To find out, researchers collected data on 50 randomly selected commercials in a given week. With the television's volume at a fixed setting, they measured the maximum loudness of each commercial and the maximum loudness in the first 30 seconds of regular programming that followed. Assuming conditions for inference are met, the most appropriate method for answering the question of interest is blank. All right, so let's think about how researchers would collect the data in a spreadsheet. All right, so there's 50 commercials. So just write number 1, 2, 3, all the way to 50. And then what they're going to record or measure is the max loudness of the commercial. Okay, so commercials max loudness, and I don't know, maybe they're going to measure that in decibels. I don't even know what I just make up some numbers, but I have no idea what a typical decibel value would be. Let's say a commercial had a decibel rating of like 8 decibels. Okay, and then they also measure the maximum loudness during the first 30 seconds of regular programming. Okay, so then during the next 30 seconds after the commercial ends, they're going to measure the max loudness, so maybe it's like 6 decibels. I don't know. Okay. Point is that they're getting 2 measurements for each commercial, right? They're getting the loudness of the commercial plus the loudness that follows after the commercial, so 2 measurements. So this is paired data. For that reason, I'm going to go ahead and eliminate A, B, and E, and then narrow it down to C and D. Now the only difference I see here is one says test and one says interval. And so the question is, are we trying to estimate the difference, or are we trying to assess a claim about the difference? Okay. So the question is, are TV commercials louder than their surrounding programs? Well, it sounds like we would do a hypothesis test, right? So the null hypothesis would be that there is no difference, right? So the mean difference of the decibel readings would be 0. And we want to see if we can find evidence that the commercials are actually louder, and that would mean that the mean difference of the 2 measurements would be positive, right? Assuming that we do commercial minus program, right? So I think this would be a test, a t-test, okay? Although technically speaking, like, you could assess the claim with a confidence interval, right? And just check whether 0 is in the interval or not, right? Or check that the interval is contains only positive values. But I think the people who wrote the question were aiming for a test here.